Welcome back everyone to Pro vs New. A series where I and one of my friends who is new to zombies play 49 zombie maps with one bonus map at the end. And in today's episode we are going to be playing Zombies in Spaceland, the starting map for Infinite Warfare and what people say is the best map in IW. The question is, will the new player find the roller coaster? We will just have to watch and find out. So with all of that being said, let's get right into it. So starting off with my POV, we can see the first thing I do is pop these balloons. Now, some of you might know a little bit about Infinite Warfare and Zombies in Spaceland specifically, probably thinking I'm going to be doing the school arcade machine side Easter egg to get a perkaholic, and you are completely wrong. I was too lazy when doing this to go for that. Just thinking of that one step where you have to charge the machine with the Brute's laser sends shivers down my spine. I do this just for the fun. And now you see me getting as many points as possible as I'm trying to get to the arcade as early as I can. As the earlier I do everything, the better. But why am I trying to do everything so early, you might ask? Well, for some reason, I decided it would be a fun idea to do the Easter eggs on this map. And all I remember from this Easter egg is to do it as soon as possible. So when I got enough points, I opened the first door, and then I go to Journey and open up this door. Finally opening up the last door of the arcade, and now with one zombie left, I get to show off my arcade skills. And now with enough tickets to get everything we need, we get to it. First we buy the Forge Fees, one of the wonder weapons on this map that costs 500 tickets. We then get the Ice Grenade, and finally the Golden Teeth that we'll need a bit later. And we have just enough tickets to get an ammo refill that will be crucial a bit later on. So with this we kill the last zombie, and on round 3 we start the most mind-numbing strat ever existed. So if you don't know, there's a little glitch where you can farm points using the Forge Fees, where all you need to do is shoot them, ideally getting 3 in one burst, and as long as you wait until they unfreeze and never switch to the blast fire mode, you'll be able to do this for as long as you have ammo, getting 120 points per 3 zombies. So off we go on a long firing spree, freezing and unfreezing zombies. Now, so that you guys feel my pain, I'll now be showing you the whole process, from start to finish. But not to worry, I'll help you out with your short attention spans, as this will take 30 minutes to do by adding some Subway Surfers on the side. Okay, so if you've seen the length of the video, you know it isn't the whole process, and I was just messing with you. But don't tempt me, I'm fully capable of making a video like that, so again, don't tempt me. So let's check in on how our new player is doing while I continue doing this mind-numbing strat. So I'm going to give you guys a little spoiler before we begin. That being that the new player only took 3 attempts in Spaceland. Now, this could be good, or it could be bad. We don't know until we get into it. So let's have a little look at what our new guy's first attempt looks like, and let's see if he actually is improving or not. And of course the new player goes straight for up and atoms. Now, I don't think he knows this is quick revive yet and is mainly going based on colour, as the previous blue drinks have revived him. And with that he starts getting some zombie kills using starting pistol, and we can even see him try turning on power switch, and like us, having trouble, because for some reason, in IW, they decide to make every interact a hold the button situation, but after some time he gets it working and continues killing even more zombies with the starting pistol. And by now you're probably wondering, why is it the dual pistol? Well, that's on me. I thought, if you pack the Kendalls the first time, it will be dual wield if you had the akimbo attachment on. But what I forgot, that was only when you pack a punched it twice. And you know how much our new player loves aiming down sights. And because he is having such a hard time, and also low on ammo, he then decides to go and buy the M1, finally being able to aim down sight. And at the end of round 2, he even gets to opening up the first door, where after exploring around for a little bit, gets to killing even more zombies, where he then opens up to Kepler, and carries on killing zombies, saving up even more points, where he then gets the Erad. And after exploring even more, and opening up some more, he finally finds the next power switch, and even goes through the portal. And this is where I'm going to have to be transparent with you guys, as this is a game with multiple power switches, and he has never played a map with those. I did tell him that there will be multiple switches like the one in Spawn in every location, and that he should go through the portals. Anyway, he decides to go back, and this time he decides to go through the crocodile mouth, but this time with the power on. And after hearing a little noise, he looks back and sees the end that could have been. So while our new player finds himself trying to suppress the insane shock he just received by nearly going down, let's see how I'm doing. And back to me, where 30 minutes later we have amassed a whopping 25,000 points. to now open up the whole map and get everything I need for the Easter egg. So let's get to it. The first thing I like to do is open up the whole map and get a Pack-a-Punch open while I look for every single piece. So starting off, we open up towards Journey's power switch where we grab a sneaky Tough Enough, just as in case. But it really doesn't matter as we have so many points anyway. And this is where we start to begin looking for the parts for the Seticom. We previously got the calculator before we did the point strat on round 3 on this bench here. We then got the umbrella in the gift counter at Polar Peak. And finally got the radio down where Racing Stripes are. After getting all of these pieces, we also turned on Pack-a-Punch by going through all of the portals. And finally we got the perks and even Pack-a-Punch the Kendalls, and while we were in the Pack-a-Punch we might as well turn these mini UFOs on to go to each of their corresponding traps, which we'll need to get done later on. And with all of that done, we can now move on to this Yeti here, as there are 4 wonder weapons on this map. And I'm going to be going for the one that I'm most used to getting, which is the head cutter. And this Yeti is one of the parts we need to get to build it. And funny enough, this step here is full of controversy, as a lot of the OG YouTubers when covering this map got the step wrong. But do not worry, I'm here to explain real quick on the actual way of getting this done. So firstly, you gotta throw a cryo grenade at this Yeti for it to freeze some zombies. Once those zombies are frozen, all you need to do is get 10 zombie headshots, not kills. Headshots. Once you get them, you'll hear the Yeti scream, and once done, we can make our way up and grab the part in the Yeti's hand. Now, all that's needed is a stone and the Yeti figure, by getting the 3 Yeti souvenirs. But we'll get to that a bit later, as I think I'm done quite enough already on 1 round. Yes, all this was done in 1 round. So let's see how our new player is doing. So after composing himself and remembering he is currently in an amusement park filled with the zombies, he gets back to exploring, going back through the crocodile's mouth this time, giving us a little jump out of excitement. To then go back through the portal to go to spawn, and this is where we see him deposit a souvenir coin. Don't worry, he will never do this again, where he then ends the round and begins the next one. In this round he just goes ham killing zombies. He does have a near miss, but he has been practicing, and this is where he begins the max ammo rounds. And I don't think the new guy was ready for what was about to come, as in the next few minutes, this happened. But not to worry, they had quick revive, so back he comes, but not before playing some games at the arcade, as he hasn't visited the arcade yet, and it is quite amusing to play these games, where he then gets stuck in one of the arcade machine games for 3 minutes. Mainly because escape didn't work, and the only way to get out was through the crouch button. But after 3 minutes he did find out how, and decided it's time to go back to killing zombies through the door, grabbing up an atoms and even picking up his weapons from the lost and found box. And after killing some zombies, we can see the new player on round 8, taking a journey through Journey as he's trying to find more power switches to be able to activate the portals. Sadly though, this is where the player gets a bit confused as where it is, and only after finding out where to turn it on, he goes down. But not to worry, he did buy quick revive before, so back out he goes. This is short lived, as after getting his guns and his last up and atoms, he goes down just outside of the arcade, and finally after going 1 extra round, he decides to go and explore Polar Peak. And while in the gift shop, too many zombies came at him, taking his final down for attempt 1 on round 9. Honestly, an impressive first attempt. And with that, let's check in on myself. So at the beginning of this round, before doing the Yeti step, I heard the UFO sound, meaning the Seticom is ready to be picked up, so I go and find Hoff and collect the Seticom. And now I run around the map looking for locations to place it. The first being in Polar's Peak gift shop. So I go and grab bomb stoppers real quickly so I don't take damage from the Kendalls, where I get to completing the first Seticom defense round, without a problem. And then on the same round, I gather up a bunch of zombies to kill using the trap to start getting the wind core done. To do this, I went and got myself an arcade corn to put on the M1, then I Pack-a-Punched it to make the step even easier to do. And then I get to killing zombies. Sadly not being able to complete it on round 5, I decide to leave it for the next round and go and find the next Seticom defense, which was located down next to Racing Stripes. Again, this goes without a hitch, as these previous locations were quite easy to defend, and funny enough, I was going to wait till next round to get the wind core. But it seems I was just missing 1 more zombie, as the final zombie in round 5 was enough to get it. And now with the wind core and double tap, I decided to make my way and find the next Seticom defense, which was located right next to bomb stoppers, again another easy one to defend. So before we start the final Seticom, which was the hardest by a big margin, I wanted to go and get things ready. So the first thing I did was complete the Yeti souvenir token, giving me the Yeti doll for the wonder weapon, and then I went and bought a rewind grenade so I don't run out of ammo. And normally, I would have waited for a boombox to make this step a lot easier, but I just decided to go for it. And I smashed it, not needing a boombox nor use my rewind grenade at all, which, in hindsight, was the worst mistake I have ever made, and you'll have to wait and see why in the next clip. But for now, what I do is I go and get rid of double tap for racing stripes, as I like to move faster, and wait until round 10 to get the brute to spawn to go and get the final part of the wonder weapon, that being the stone in the crocodile's mouth. And with it, we go to build the wonder weapon, and we are now boss fight ready. But before we see the most stressful boss fight in the world, let's see if the new player has learned anything in his second attempt. So our new player starts his second attempt speedy, wasting no time in turning on the power and grabbing up an atoms, where he then sets his eyes on the hailstorm, where once he got enough points he bought it and then opens up his first door, making his way to the centre, where he then spots another weapon which he once again sets his eyes on. So back to killing zombies to get enough points for another weapon. Points management? What's that? So with his new gun, he gets to killing even more zombies, where he then decides to open up towards Polar Peak, which is honestly a surprise, as he did die last time here, but maybe he's trying to get rid of his fear. Once up here, he continues to show us that points aren't a thing he is worried about, because he buys another war weapon. And this is where he gets another ammo round, where unlike last time, this time he's prepared for those nasty, exploding clowns. And he sure showed them who's boss, absolutely destroying them. And after exploring for a while, not being able to find the power, he gets to exploring a little bit more out of the outside, even going down the slide, which I guess was a lot of fun. But something you don't know about the new guy is that he is so stubborn. So he decides to go all the way back and look for the power switch in Polar Peak once again. And this time, to our surprise, he finds it. And make no hesitation to run to the roller coaster, and I can't blame him. I also love roller coasters, and we'll soon see what other shenanigans the new player will get up to in his second attempt, but for now, let him enjoy the roller coaster, and let's check in on my most important and stressful clip in the whole of this episode. With me now doing the Simon Says part. To do this, after doing all 3 Steadicom defenses, all you have to do is wait 2 more rounds and go into a half where he will give you these speakers, where you need to place these down in the center area. And then play a game of Simon Says, where you have to play the speakers that match the colour sequence that the UFO gives you. And you only have to do this around 3 times. If you fail though, it will take a minute to reset and you have to deal with the brute spawn. I messed up around twice and then did them all in one go, which now begins the boss fight. And look, I've done this boss fight so many times, like I've done it twice in my life, this being the second. So I'm not going to say I'm the best at it, but what I wasn't expecting is for this to happen. I didn't realise the rewind grenades didn't rewind the zombies! Now, for your information, I was flawless till this point, and now I'm basically 1/3 of the boss fight with only quick revive and 2 of my guns, which aren't known for their ammo. So I clutch up as hard as I can and get to playing the sweatiest game of all time, as I really didn't want to die in round 10 and have the new player get a higher round than me. So I dodge the zombies, I get red screen more times than I could count. I slowly got rid of his fuses, and finally with the remaining bit of my ammo, which wasn't a lot I shall remind you, I shot with everything I had, finally killing the boss, and oh my god, this was so stressful. Some of you will understand what I mean, as this boss isn't known for being the easiest boss to do, but it's all done. And now with the boss killed, I grab the fuses and I go and get my perks, where I then go and pack a punch and double pack my weapons, and end the fight using my upgraded wonder weapon. I shoot these lights and wait till the UFO gets to the center to destroy it once and for all. And now, all that is left is to get to that lovely round 50. So while I am busy trying to get to round 50, let's go and check in on our new player. As we can see, while I was playing the most stressful game of my life, the new player was enjoying his time on the roller coaster, where he then gets off and turns on the portal going through it and decides to open up towards Kepler. He then gets the glasses and after putting them on doesn't know how to remove them. So I came by and gave him another helping hand and told him the button to remove it. And shortly after buying another war weapon, yes, another one, I genuinely believe he's doing a buy every war weapon challenge on this map or something. But anyway, he turns on power, and because there are so many zombies he couldn't turn on the teleporter, and heads towards the trap, turning it on and killing the zombies. This is the first time the new player's ever turned on a trap, by the way. And now on round 10, another ammo round begins, and it seems like this time, the clowns were pissed from the last time and came back with some vengeance, as they absolutely demolished the new player, making him die and have to revive and go for his weapons. But not to worry, he gets through this round, but honestly, it was very short-lived, as on this magical round, the worst happened. a lovely brute spawns on this round. And this is the first time the new player's ever seen him and doesn't know what to expect. So it's obvious that he goes down after getting lasered in the face, but that's not all, as soon as he revives again he gets smacked down by the brute. But if you thought this wasn't enough of a beating, after coming back he gets killed by zombies while trying to escape from the brute, ending off his second attempt. But not to worry, we have one more attempt to show off, so let's see how well I'm doing in trying to get to round 50. Okay, so I had a little bit of trouble, but honestly, getting to a high round on this map isn't much trouble, unlike what I'm showing in the gameplay, as the wind core on the M1 stuns the zombies, making it super easy to run around, the ice grenades with the Kendalls are an insta-kill on any round, and the most overpowered exploit you can use to get to round 50 with no problem at all has to do with the wonder weapon, as there is an infinite ammo exploit where you can get rid of your wonder weapon when it has no ammo, pick it up again from the place you crafted it, take it to Pack-a-Punch it to replenish all of its ammo. So as long as you have the point, you can do this with any of the 4 wonder weapons. And after around another 2 hours, I finally got to round 50, where I then decided to go on the roller coaster, as how could I not? Like I said previously, it's just a must when playing this map. I'm not going to let the new player have all the fun. And after getting off, I go and die the best way you can on this map, by getting crushed by the crocodile. And with that, I leave off my run with a lovely round 50, and now it's time to check out the last attempt from my new player. Starting off at attempt number 3 with what we've already seen, turning on power, buying up in atoms, and getting the hailstorm. Where on round 3, he makes his way to the centre and kills a few zombies there. On round 5, he turns on Kepler's power and makes it through the portal, surviving the clown round, where he then moves up to his next area, being Journey. And this time he doesn't die trying to turn on the power, but he does die trying to go through the portal. But no need to worry, as soon as he revives he goes and gets his weapons and another up and atom, and for the first time on this map on round 8 he buys his second perk ever, Tough Enough, to help him out. And right after he goes back to the portal and this time does manage to get through. And on round 9 our new player finally finds the arcade, turns on the power and even goes through the portal. I think you guys know what he is painting at this point, and you would be correct, as then he goes to Polar Peak, finds the last power switch and links the final portal, and even goes to the Pack-a-Punch room. Sadly with not enough points to Pack-a-Punch though, and while hitting the box he is in a bit of a tight area and goes down once more. So he goes and gets up and atoms again for him to go down 2 seconds later. So with no more up and atoms he decides if he's going to die he might as well go down Pack-a-Punching. And that's exactly what he does. He goes through the rounds farming those points up until he has just enough to Pack-a-Punch. As soon as he does, he goes and Pack-a-Punches. Honestly, I'm super proud, because even though I told him he needed to link the portals, I didn't actually think he was going to be able to. But sadly, with no Tough Enough, he soon after getting his gun papped goes down between the brute and the zombies, ending off his final attempt with an impressive round 12 and even getting a Pack-a-Punch. So with everyone dead, let's check out the board. A quick note though, as we are in IW, it doesn't show us exactly how many kills we got. We've got to estimate a little bit based on the rounds. So I got 383,650 points and the new player got 24,420 points. I got 4,740 kills and the new player got 260 kills. I got to round 50 and the new player got to round 12. And with that, another episode of Pro vs New is done. Thank you all for watching. I would like to announce we have a public Discord I would love for you guys to join, link in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment and press that subscribe button, as we're trying to reach 10,000 subscribers at the end of the year. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!